Good afternoon and welcome. I am so excited to have you here and have you on the Game On interview series. I am Jean Berry. I am your game inventor mentor, and I love bringing experts onto this show to talk about how your wizardry, somehow that word came out, wizardry makes everything else magic in the world. And so today I have an incredibly fabulous friend and business psychic who is both a marketing and business coach for entrepreneurs who are ready to transform service-based business into a profitable and purposeful brand. I have known Amber for a few years and we have been known to sit in the hot tub with some red wine named Bliss and have otherwise fun and games in business. So welcome, and I'm so excited to have you here, Amber. I can't believe it took me this long to have you on.
Do stuff with you for sure.
Awesome. And so outside of all of that rambling that I just went on, and we get we get on the call and we're like chatting. I'm like, wait, it's time to go live. Let's go.
What are we going to bring the people today?
Exactly. So is there anything else that you would like to add to the magic things that you do on the planet?
No, I love it. I just want to make sure that we are connected. I feel, are we good? We're from a technology standpoint, all things are good here?
All things are good here. And so, oh, you froze for just a second. We have a couple of people coming on live. If you are coming here live to hang out with us, make sure to say hi. And we will give you an opportunity on this call to ask some questions too, because Amber is actually an incredibly gifted psychic and she can give some really cool answers as well. So we will get to that point as well. We'll ask some questions. You can have an opportunity to ask some questions if that comes up. Joanne, hi, so glad you're here. Darla says, 2 of my favorite business besties. Yes. Thanks for hanging out with us, Darla. Always a pleasure to have you here. So, you're doing such cool things.
Now that we have you here, what are we going to cover, right?
Now what are we going to cover? I know. Because the breadth of your work actually is so, it covers all of business. It covers from life into business, because I know that you know that life and business are the same thing. So tell our viewers a little bit about you and your world and your cute kids and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I have had my online psychic coaching business for about 6 years now. Before this, I was in the financial services industry for about 15 years and did traditional business lending. I worked in financial institutions and did investments and insurance, and actually really loved that world. But when my gift of psychic mediumship came alive in 2013, when you know what your purpose is, like, you can't not be on it. You can't not be in it. And so I found this beautiful way to blend my love of business and entrepreneurship with my gift of psychic mediumship to really give entrepreneurs, business owners, creative, unique, and truly soul-aligned guidance, mentoring, consulting, and coaching. It's kind of a little bit of almost all of it sometimes. And it's just magical. I mean, I love being able to see that big vision for each and every single one of my clients and hold them accountable and help them find aligned, intuitive, and intentional ways to get there, to get to the results that they want. Some of those paths are easier than others. Sometimes we get to fly right to that result, and other times there's more life lessons we're working through. There's more, I call them lessons in light and in life. Those ebbs and tides that we have to navigate and learn from, but we keep going until we get there.
That is incredibly awesome. So while you were chatting, I was closing things on my browser because you've been freezing a little bit, but your voice has been steady. So I think that everyone is able to hear you. So I was closing things on my computer to make sure that everything was, I had enough bandwidth here to make everything roll. So
Got it.
hopefully when the final product comes forward, it's not just, you in poses.
It's okay. I usually always get stuck in those like really horrible face, like, your face looks like it's been just, ugh, all, hopefully it's one of those bad poses.
Yeah, make sure you're smiling often. So that's right.
Just like be a ventriloquist the whole time. Smile like this. Yeah, so that's how I'm bringing my magic to the world. I think there are so many, I primarily work with women in business, and there are so many women that now more than ever are feeling it's time to follow their higher calling. They want to be in their purpose. They want to be making a difference. They want to be helping soul aligned clients. They want freedom. They want liberty. They want expansion, and entrepreneurship is such a beautiful way for them to get that.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're getting a little feedback that you are a little choppy, yes, but I hope that your voice is coming straight through in the broadcast as well. If for some reason this isn't working out and we need we need to do it again, well, we will do that. We will come back.
We will
and
do it again.
Right now. We'll do it again. And some of the things that you have really helped expand inside of my business is this idea of taking a inspired idea and then taking it to the next level, like taking it into real life, like not just saying, well, that's a great idea, go do that, but taking that cool idea and then really allowing it to turn into something magical in the world. Is there, in addition to being psychic, is there a like, what's your magic formula? Like, how do you do that?
I love this question because I was just talking to my husband about this last night. I swear sometimes he's like my best coach ever because he's so unattached to what I'm doing in my business. But I was saying to him, I don't know why, but I fear failure less than most people. I have a resiliency to like, okay, I fell down, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep going. Okay, I fell down, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep going. Okay, I fell down, I'm going to get up, I'm going to keep going. And it's over and over and over again. That tends to be a theme, not just in my life, but we all go through that. And I don't let the failed launches keep me from launching again. I don't let the shitty sales calls keep me from making other invitations and making other sales. I don't let the missed mark in my marketing keep me from putting out other marketing and other content. Everything in our business, in the way that we do business, is about trial and experiment. It is not trial and error, and it's definitely not trial and failure. And I am just not scared to fail, and I feel like I infuse that in my clients. There's no failure here. We're going to learn from this. We're going to look at what was working, where's the strength, what weakness do we need to improve on? And it's holding that sight for that idea. That idea came to you for a reason. You were inspired, you were ignited with that idea for a reason. We're going to see it through. We're going to turn that idea into that big vision. We're going to create that as your reality. And we're going to do aligned actions to make it happen. Not just, oh, this is the path or this is the formula. Every single aligned action is different for every single one of my clients. It's not a cookie cutter formula. It's not a one strategy fits all. Of course, there's certain things that that worked for everybody, right? Like there's certain things that everybody needs. Everybody needs lead generation. Everybody needs to have a Facebook business page, some social media presence. There's certain things like that. But at the end of the day, the strategy for you is going to be completely different than the strategy for anybody else, for any other business owner that I work with.
Well,
Are we
yeah,
still
and
good
I think,
here?
yeah, and I think that this is, probably why we get along so well, right? Is because we definitely want to stay in that inspired space, and every coach who lives in inspiration always needs someone reflecting back to them. No, that was inspired. Remember that you were so lit up, inspired by that. Let's keep going,
Yeah.
and let's keep experimenting.
Yeah.
And I love that you would always, like, I love that you'd be saying, okay, Jean, I know that you like a game. So how can we make this a game today so that we can get this done? And I think that that's why it's been so much fun to hang out together, is to create these games that ultimately are unique to each person, and have their business then work because of that game that's rolling out. Joanne says, yeah, I love that, Amber. Keep getting back up. That's inspiring.
Keep going, no matter what. I also think that one of the things that it takes with an idea is to stay curious about it, not to stay just wildly curious about the idea and keep playing with the idea instead of howing it to death. I think everybody on this planet at some given point throughout the day probably has a really good idea. And instead of like embracing it and just like, yeah, I want to play with this, or I want to see this through, or I want to bring this to the world, they instantly go into, oh, but I don't know how to make that happen, or there's no way I could do that, or they let that fear of failure kill the inspiration behind the idea. And so the idea moves on, and there's nothing I think more heartbreaking than seeing, and if you've had this happen to you, you know how this feels, and seeing that idea come alive watch somebody else bringing that idea alive. It's heartbreaking knowing that was your moment, that was your shot, you had that opportunity, and you chose to how the idea to death. There's nothing worse than the death of a good idea, in my opinion.
Well, right. But the other side of that, of course, is now I have a lot of creatives in this community who sometimes have so many ideas that they are, the kind of the shiny object that they can't stick with one. Now, I'm always, like working on several things at once, but only several, not 100, right? And so I know you have an incredible process for kind of parking those fabulous ideas when they call up, and then pick them up when
the
they're
idea
ready.
Incubator. I think it's like just so natural to me that I do this now, and I don't think anybody else. I forget to teach this more. So, and actually I have some idea incubator worksheets that I can give to you to join if anybody wants that. So what I basically do, I'll keep it really easy here. This is going to blow your mind, change everything. That's it, right? Mind blowing. A 4-piece grid can change your world with your ideas. And in the first, I'm going to just put in the first quad here, what are we in? October. Give me like 1 second. I promise it'll be worth your wait in watching this. Okay, so here it says Idea Incubator, and here it says October, November, and December. Now, what I want you to start doing is anytime you get an idea, whether it be for a new package, a new program, a new blog, a workshop, a product, I don't care what idea it is, a book, whatever it is, I want you to give yourself an idea incubator like this. I want you to write that idea on a Post-it note and put it inside of this one one grid here. And what happens is all of your ideas start to percolate and get added up here until it's time to take them out of the idea incubator and plan them out in either October, November, and December. Now, typically, you want to plan it out before you hit October. So you would review what's in your idea incubator probably sometime in September. And when you do that, you can look at each idea and you can say, when does this want to come alive? When do I want to launch this? Is this still aligned for me? You'll be surprised at how many of the Post-it notes will end up, you have a graceful release of them, thank them, and send them on their way to the garbage. And the other ones, it gives you a really great plan of aligned attack. You know now what your focus is going to be for October, November, and December. Now, here's the glorious part. Number one is if there's leftover ideas that just maybe they need more time, you're going to go and you're going to create this exact thing, except it's going to be for January, February, March. And you're going to let those ideas sit and wait until you go to plan those out in your next quarter. What I find what I find everybody loves about this is when you are a person of creativity and ideation and you have all of those ideas coming to you, it can be A, overwhelming, and B, you don't know when to act on them. Or by the time you do act on them, you've lost the excitement for it, you're pre-planned out, and this allows you to do and be and create inside of your business with your ideas on a 90-day basis. And we change and we evolve in our businesses so much when you're a spiritual entrepreneur. I mean, how many of you are going through an up level about once every 90 days, right? It can feel like that. Oh, here comes another transformation. Transformation is like the buzzword of entrepreneurship for us sometimes. This process allows you to evolve and allows your ideas to evolve with you and gives you a really nice, fun space to hold those together.
I love this. And right now we're a bunch of the people in my community are inside the 40 days and 40 nights, which is amplifying your daydreams and your night dreams. And so I can see that you could absolutely pull some of those daydreams and even some of those night dreams and put them in a square called the incubator and let the universe just incubate with them, right? Hang out, let them see what's going to show up and see what's, I'm going to work on next. I think it would be a fun place to hang them out there and even just go, look, oh, what am I going to focus on today inside of dreams and daydreams?
And we should really do this as a bonus for that magical community of yours. We should really just take them through an entire idea incubator workshop. We're going to give them that as a bonus sometime when you want.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys all just got up leveled. Amber's in the house. She's going to up level your 40-day, 40-night experience. So sometime during there, we're going to do the idea incubator and just do a full on, make that roll. Joanne saying, yes. Beautiful. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. I can't share, but up on my wall, I do this version, but on the big wall size Post-it notes. And I already have, looking at my idea incubator for 2021, January, February, March, 3, 6, 8. I already have 8 ideas, 8 Post-it notes, waiting for me in the incubator to look at what we're going to create in 2021. It's so fun. It's a really magical process. So excited to bring people through that for sure.
Awesome. And so I did at the beginning of this interview, I said that we would give some of you opportunities to ask some questions about your business. Amber is full on,
my favorite.
I know, psychic inside your business and can answer questions, things that have been kind of bothering you for a while. And you're like, I don't know what to do with this. She's like, oh, got this. Well, she just taps in and tells you beautiful things about your world. And so now is the time. Start typing your question, and we will hang out here and continue to chat. But if you have questions about your business or something that you've been beating around in your head a little bit.
Yeah. I think so many people, they get to this point and they almost get like deer in the headlights. Oh, like, what do I ask? So let me give a couple different things that I really love connecting in with. Number one, if there's some type of belief or block or barrier or behavior, whatever label you want to throw on it, the universe is going to show me that for you. Number two is I feel like I have this ability to see bigger for you, to think, not that I think bigger than you, but it's like my gift is to see you serving at your highest level, at you serving at your highest calling, making your highest income. It's just the instant place that the universe takes me. And so it's almost like I get to see the end before we even start, which is a pretty cool thing.
Perfect. So if you want to ask specifically, like what's coming, like what's the bigger vision of this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Or if you want to ask.
And a little bit of, like, I want to know a little bit about your business. Like, what kind of business do you have? That's also a little bit helpful for me, to just get even more specific with what's next, what actions you should be taking, what ones you can have a graceful release of, any of those kinds of things. So
okay.
Yeah,
I have the first one up, and it's Joanne. She goes by Joyanne because she's created a bunch of cool characters called Joybles, and she's got a neat deck and that kind of thing. And she says, I just launched my business and I'm getting stuck on reaching more customers besides my friends, colleagues, and family members. And so I suspect your question actually inside that, Joanne, is that, how do I reach the next level?
Lead magic. Lead magic. It is, so I started in the online space about 6.5 years ago. And back then it used to be that you can post organically to your social media feed and Facebook groups, that kind of thing, and could create business. And I've watched it become more and more increasingly difficult. At the end of the day, you can have the most amazing and magical package and service and product and program, but if people don't know about it, if they don't see it, they can't buy it. And so we need to be bringing in as many leads for you as possible. Now, lead generation is not it's not a cookie cutter approach. There are some clients that I work with that I suggest Facebook ads to. Pretty much everybody I suggest Facebook ads to, or a Google ad, or depending on your audience, some type of paid ads. Because to do it organically, which is what you're experiencing, it takes a lot longer. You're actually losing money by not investing in some type of paid ad strategy is my belief. We need more people coming onto your list. So those would be things like doing experiential marketing with people, like webinars, workshops, master classes, trainings, anything like that where people can see you in your zone of genius makes people want to buy. They want to be a part of that zone of genius with you. So the more, when it comes to marketing, less is not more, more is more. I really, really believe it. And not more of like a, you have to more, but I can't wait to go talk about this inside of my business today. I can't wait to go write an email about this. I can't wait to connect with my soul clients, my ideal clients about this. I can't wait to go do this podcast interview. I can't wait to, share your magic in your marketing. That is what is going to bring in new leads, new opportunities, and ultimately clients.
Awesome. Very cool. We actually have questions starting to pour in now. So I will try to, I know. So
I literally feel like I should change my entire business model to just be like, ask Amber, because I could sit all day long and have people fire questions at me and just like, boom, 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 like amazing.
Okay. So this is Dr. Angie Arabko, and she is, here's the well, actually, so here's her business. She has a book, a card game, a kid's book, a workbook, and a program in progress in the realm of anti-bullying and empowerment coaching. Her question is, what happens when you have the ideas in the progress phase and feel pulled between them to the point where you're at paralysis?
So I think one thing would be narrowing it down to one. So I appreciate what you're saying there. So just yesterday, I did this like really fun activity I'm going to share with you. I made a list. I was like, what is my next thing? Like, what do I really want to like sell? Like I have my idea incubator up there, but that's more from kind of like marketing stuff for me right now, not as much as like programs, packages. And so I made this list yesterday of 52, it blew my mind, 52 things I could go sell. And then I narrowed it down to my top 10, and then I narrowed it down to my top 5, and then I narrowed it down to my number one thing for November, just for November. Because when you're in that moment of frustration with what's next, what do I want, who am I, it can really take you down a rabbit hole. You can spiral quickly into this like, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And we don't want to go to that place. What we want to do is we just want to make a decision on one. So some of the tools that I used yesterday were oracle cards, a pendulum, and really my intuition. Like what one is like really, really exciting to me the most? What one is? And I got really curious. I was like, okay, this is the one. This is how me and the universe narrowed it down to one. I'm going to go see. I'm going to be just unattached to the outcome, universe. Let's see if you know what you're doing. Let's just go play. And so I sent one email and I have 7 sales calls booked and an inbox full of questions. So the universe knows what it's doing when you include it in your decision-making process.
Okay, Amber, will you draw a card from your cool deck?
Oh. And who am I drawing a card
for? For Dr. Angie. So about her decision-making process, this idea of being pulled between these products, and if there's one that about focus.
The universe. See, your soul is calling to connect on a deeper level with source energy. Spend time in meditation, feeling the alignment that comes from the mind-body-spirit connection. The most powerful version of you is ready to be unleashed. Feel the expansion and know that the universe is your guiding force. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Angie, she says two of them are 2/3 complete. Yeah, you know, so they're on that edge. So yes, you know this, Angie. I know you do. And yet you've now gotten confirmation.
Yeah, and I think it's that fear of what is it? Like not real, like it's not fear of missing out. It's fear of messing up. You know what I mean? It's fear of, I need to write a blog about that. That's really good. It's not fear of missing out. It's fear of messing up. And thinking that there's a wrong choice in choosing between two ideas. That's why I love the idea incubator is I don't make a decision between the two. I say, yes, let's go play right now. I will be back to play with you later. And it gives space to the one to expand, become more, to sit there. Like there are some that I'm just like chomping at the bit to get going on. Energetically evaluate them. Which one is calling to you more? Which one excites you the most? Don't get into the rabbit hole of, well, I think people need this one, or I think people will buy this, or I think. That's not where we want to go with an idea. Where you want to go is what's calling to me. Like what one feels juicy and playful and expansive, and what one do you want to do just because you want to do it, not because you think you're gonna make sales from it or you think that's what your ideal clients want. That shit's never gonna sell. It's when you are so damn turned on and lit up about it that you want to buy it yourself. That's when people go and buy it from you. That's the idea to go with.
That's awesome. Now you all know why I love Amber. She's just like in it. She's here for you. Like she truly is passionate about you and your product in the world. So Thank you so much for that.
It's kind of, you know what I was thinking about? It's kind of exhausting because I don't account for this when I like put together packages and programs. I was like, okay, I'm putting together this new offer. It's going to include this many private sessions with me, and it's going to include Voxer and some group calls. And I was like, you know what else I need to include? I need to include shower time with me because I think about my clients so much in the shower. I was like, that's like where the actual magic happens. They get shower time with me.
Well, I often say they need dream time with me, right? Because I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, yeah. And I dreamed about this project. Here we go. Here's the game.
I literally think I'm going to put out just for fun and silliness and to be like, do you want to take a shower with me? Because that is literally when I get the best ideas and spend the most time thinking about my clients. Honestly, a lot of the time my shower time is my ideation time. I even have one of those like aqua waterproof pads in there because, man, you got to be ready for an idea when it comes. I know we kind of have a love annoyance relationship with Elizabeth Gilbert, me and Jean do, but I think there was something kind of magical in the book Big Magic when she talked about how quickly an idea can come and go. And so I am always ready and armed with Post-it notes and pens for when those ideas come, because I want to claim it and take it. Otherwise, I mean, how many times have you been like, oh, what was I going to say? Oh man, that was really good. And it's just like, it's already gone. Some of them are slippery little suckers.
All right. So
more questions?
Yes, there are more questions. Are you ready? Okay. Leanne says, how awesome is this? If you have time, I would like to know what to focus on for my new business. I am a psychic and shifting into business coaching now.
Ooh, okay. So if I had to take myself back to 6.5 years ago when I was first starting this, what would I do the same? What would I do different? I think honestly for me, there's a couple of things. Number one, build your list. Number two, build your testimonials. I wish I would have captured more of those at the end of a reading with somebody where, I mean, I've literally done thousands and thousands of readings over the last almost 7 years now. And I've only captured a handful of testimonials. And when you're in a moment of evolution and transformation yourself, and when you're questioning your why, and you will, I promise you, at some point you will be like, what am I doing? You'll feel this, you'll feel the change and the shift. Those testimonials are really powerful to look back at and to help you continue to claim your calling and also share that as content. So testimonials, hands down, to help you lock into your why. And list building. We are seeing things change dramatically inside of social media right now. The one thing that's never going to change when you're list building, you own those email addresses until they say they want to unsubscribe. Get going on list building.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Did that answer the question?
Leanne, did that answer the question? Or were you looking for something else or something in addition? So let us know if there's something else you were looking for.
I moved back into my office, and then there's a gorgeous window right here. But since I moved back into my office, there have been these crazy squirrels that literally sometimes jump at the window. It's the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life with these squirrels. I need Maybe they want food or something. I don't know. Does anybody know anything about squirrels here?
Yeah.
They're like insane out my window.
We're going to need to look at the Animal Speaks book. Okay, Leanne says, thank you. Hang on, let me see what she said. Leanne. Yes, I understand. Great advice. Testimonials in this building. Beautiful. Yes. And I know, it's kind of funny. There's so many things when we start a business that we think we're supposed to be focusing on, like how am I going to serve my clients, and how am I going to, make this new course, and how am I going to serve them in a new way? What's my new package and all that stuff? But ultimately, having people to talk to is the more important piece.
It is. It is. And I'll tell you what, I shared this exercise. Jean's in my mastermind, so she's getting a preview of what I'm going to make everybody do in our next mastermind call. But this was such a powerful exercise that the universe guided me to. I can't even describe it. When I realized I had 52 different services that I could sell, and all of them felt good. And then I was like, okay, but now I got to narrow it down to top 10. Now I got to narrow it down to top 5. Now I got to get it down to number 1. I also want to maybe even try doing that with my to-do list, and getting really corely centered and focused on one thing at a time. Because otherwise we get into overwhelm. Otherwise we get into all of the have-tos and should-dos and need-to-dos, and we get into all the things. And sometimes it's really just getting clear on the one thing for the one day that's going to activate all of the magic and everything else. I really am feeling that from the universe right now.
Okay, so Leanne says she has squirrels outside the window. Joanne says she has dogs chasing a squirrel outside the window right now. So clearly, squirrel chasing something, like the squirrels are kind of frenetic energy, like I'm suspecting it kind of goes back to this question before, which how do we manage all these things, right? Is that, yeah. And the dog can only chase one squirrel at once.
Yeah, my squirrels are chasing each other, and sometimes launching at the window, which is, I think, a weird behavior for a squirrel. I've seen birds do it, but not squirrels. But
okay, you ready for another question?
Oh, fire away. I love it.
Okay, this is from Laura, and she says, I'm launching a membership circle in January. Wanting to share my gifts and build a community. Thoughts? ? My business is with creativity, spirituality, intuitive readings, and workshops. Doing 2 card decks. Putting on a summit, which is launching December 1st. So the question is, want to share my thoughts about her launching the membership circle in January.
I feel the energy behind what you put into this. Like, you give your all, you put your heart and soul in it. You are behind the scenes working your booty off, girl, right? And what are you going to do for Lead Magic? Where you can have the most gorgeous sales page, website, membership site, but we have to get people going to it to see it. So I'm more about like, what is your Lead Magic strategy? What do you have lined up that is going to align with? So for example, how many people, let's do some numbers here. Let's play. How many people do you want to join your membership site in January? I'm on a call, buddy. It's COVID here in our house, so I do have a kiddo that's going to make his presence. But so I want to hear, how many people do you want to join in January? And let's do some numbers.
Okay, Laura, are you still here? I'm trying to see you.
And this is the part I think that there's 2 sides to your marketing, right? There's the magical side and there's the analytical side. And this is why we need both things, because this is kind of where our analytical mind needs to kick in here. The methodical. Did she say how many people?
Not seeing it yet.
Okay, so let's just do some numbers here.
Oh, here she goes. She says 20. She says, let's say 20.
I had wrote down, I want you to think bigger. Let's do 25. So let's say you want to have 25 people join. And I'm not sure what the price is. Let's say it's, I don't know, $50 a month. I have no idea. So 25 doesn't seem like a very big number, but we have to drill down to 25. And most likely that number is going to be about 1% of all of your lead magic that you bring in. So we want to work backwards. So if you brought in, let's see, 500, no, so that's 2,500, is that right? 2,500 times 0.01, yeah, 2,500. So you would need to bring in approximately 2,500 new leads and convert at 1% to get 25. Okay, that's a little low. That's a little bit low of a conversion rate. You can, depending, but I don't know how you sell. I don't know what your sales rate is. This is the boring part of marketing. But we would need about 2,500 leads to come in for you in order for you to, and that means leads, meaning they click on your membership site, they're reading through it. Are they a buyer? Are they a potential buyer? Okay, so 2,500 leads. And obviously you can do some numbers. That could be down to 1,250 leads if you convert and if you sell at a higher level. Okay. So where do those leads come from? Now, you can definitely get organic growth by posting to social media over and over and over. You can ask for referrals. You could be a guest on podcasts. You could send a bunch of private messages to people inside of social media. You could email an existing list. There's lots of different ways that you could do it organically. And or you could do some type of paid advertising, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads, something like that. But here's where it gets really juicy. Okay, let's just say you brought on 1,000 new leads. Okay, and 10% of those opt out. So you're left with 900 new people on your list, and based off of percentage of 10%, let's say you got 9 to convert. You still have 91 other people that are still on your list from doing the lead gen. And this is probably the biggest mistake that I see people make is they do some type of summit or some type of event, and they get all of these people to come into their brand and onto their list with them. And then if they don't buy the product from the existing launch they're in, they forget about those people that are still on your list, the ones that didn't opt out but just weren't ready to buy. That's the power of the compounding effect. Those 91 people are now on your list for your next launch, plus all of the new people you bring on. And now that 91%, they're going to be more likely to buy from you the second time or the third time than they were the first time. So this is the part of marketing that can feel boring for spiritual entrepreneurs, but it's just as important as the magical side of marketing.
Right.
And it's not talked about enough.
No, it's true. And, Leanne says, yes, organic has been slow for me. I've been getting ready to do a lead magnet and 2 Facebook ads. And this is what I want to say about Facebook ads. So, I know nothing about Facebook ads. Amber helps me with those. But the interesting part is I've been running Facebook ads now for a year and a half, or almost 2 years, actually. And the compounding effort of this, and of course we had to make it a game, so Jean thought it was fun. And so what happens in Facebook also is when you've been running an ad, you get to go into what's called pixel land. And pixel land is the people who clicked on your stuff but didn't even go opt in. And you can actually retarget those people into the magic things that you are still offering. Yeah. And so Facebook ads is a long-term strategy because of that. Because of that, you don't want to just run an ad and say, well, I ran it for 3 weeks before my thing, and now we're done. This is where it gets into that kind of technical side of that. And it's really a powerful technique for having that all work. So, of course, we weren't necessarily going to talk about Facebook ads today, but it is, since it's come up for so many of you as, what's the next step? Lead generation and, getting something else besides organic leads.
I hear people say all the time, like, I can't afford to do Facebook ads. You can't afford not to do Facebook ads. The time and the energy and the effort that it's going to take you to try to do it organically, what that does to your mind, it takes organic takes its toll. Unless you are absolutely brilliant at networking and referral-based business and booking lots of chit chat, Zoom calls, guest speaking in other people's communities. In my experience, in my opinion, Facebook ads are the best way to connect to her. They really are, to speak directly to her and bring her onto your list and build that relationship with her. I mean, you know how I feel about it. I could talk about Facebook ads all day long.
It's true. It's true. So so basically we got it very helpful.
Facebook ads would have
and so Leanne says, so don't give up. And yes, the pixel land.
Keep going.
And so, she's got it set up in Kajabi and Keep Perfect. I use Kajabi too. And she still says she's still lost in kind of getting there. So Amber actually has a free gift for you. That was a perfect segue, as we kind of ran a little longer than we usually do on interviews. But Amber and I always have lots to talk about. And, you can tell we could go on forever. And so Amber has a fabulous gift for you. And do you remember what it was? It's the business magic. Amber.
Oh, yeah, and we didn't even talk about the elements. I know.
No.
Yes. So I'm trying to think, is there anything more? No, I mean, it's still a great offer. So one of the ways that I work with my clients is helping them identify what elements they are in. Are they in their air, their earth, their fire, and their water? And how when you're in each of the different elements, you take different actions inside of your business. And so we didn't even get to talk about the elements. It is magical. It's an amazing workshop. So I think they get the free masterclass on that. That's totally perfect. And then I think, is this the same group that will get the Idea Incubator?
So the Idea Incubator is actually going to land inside the 40 Days and 40 Nights, which is a paid container inside my group. However, if you all want to move this conversation about lead generation into my group, into the Game Changers group, Facebook group, we will continue this conversation more deeply inside of there. And yes, we will do some more thing about all of that inside the Game Changers. So we will move the conversation on lead generation right into the Game Changers Facebook group and see what magic rolls out for there. As always, amazing to see you, Amber. And if you all have more questions, let me put that link in there. Okay, so the link is in the feed. You all can find it there.
Thank you.
And so this is the final question.
Ooh, final
I know.
question.
So what is the one thing that you want heart-centered, spiritual entrepreneurs to know or to feel inside of their business?
I think today that would be, there's no such thing as failure. It's just not possible. There's no failure. There's only lessons. There's only moments of growth. There's only opportunity. You get to create your own reality. So if you're not liking the results, create a different reality. I could go on and on and on about just keep going. There's no trial and error here. It's trial and experiment, and you are not there's no failure in entrepreneurship.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Thank you for hanging with me today and with
Of
all
course.
of this
It was
community.
awesome.
And if you have more questions, if
Yeah.
you're watching this later, of course, jump back into the Game Changers Facebook group. We will answer all your questions there. You can also find us on Facebook Messenger and send messages there as well. You are awesome.
So
I
fun,
love
Jean.
you all. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thanks, Amber. We'll see you all later.
Bye.